Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? What's happening? Hey, we in the Thought Box, man. Hey, and if you rock out with MD's Thought Box, check me out every Tuesdays and Wednesdays over at the Straight Talk Society with Trevor. I'm over there every Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesday, 6:30. We got TFP, Tape Fist Politics, y'all, where we talking about the latest in the news and what's happening in politics right now. With my homeboy, Vancat, producer extraordinaire, Ricardo, and Mike. I'm over there Tuesday, 6:30. Then you got Wednesday, Wrestling with Reality, 6:05 on TBS, the Superstation. I mean, Straight Talk Society. Trev, myself, Vancat, and a host of others. We over there rocking out, talking about what's going on in wrestling right now. We talking about the pay-per-views. We bringing the nostalgia to you. Everything wrestling, we over there talking about it. Wednesdays, 6:05. Check me out over there, the family-friendly version now. MD, Straight Talk Society. Boom.
Hate me now, enemies gon' hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now, enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now, enemies. Busters got some mana, but I handle that, so hate me now. Got the Louis Slugger, you better cover when I hit a foul. You better be so quick to get it hip when the fist don't show. All my niggas with me creeping slow, and we on that blow. That I use, searching for an easy man. Demon in me wakes, now I shake and don't feel okay. Yeah, I'm terrified in my mind, so corrupted too. Feel so blizzo, hizzo, off that snizzo, but still keep it smooth. Evil Prince, stay so blitz, busy down with Psycho Mike. Scheming, leaning all throughout the night, down in Metro Heights. Bitch, you getting sprayed from grenade when I pulled up here. Gangsta P, here with me, and we always going in. Shaking in my bed, hating leaves you where y'all dead. Don't you rest so tears up, call your blizz up when I'm on my man. I face so much crime, stay inside. I have on my mind. Please don't shoot your kids on, send you his on, get your mids on ride. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Violent face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Violent face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Hate me now, enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now, enemies.
You hate me now, nigga, damn, I thought we was cool. You hate me now, I thought we was cool. You mad at me now, but all I do is laughing. Then chop a bullet, split him up like he a fraction. He run up on me, think it's chicken, now he past tense. Yes, I am evil Prince, but also Trace, so blast him. I catch him loafing, I'ma up the gun and let it bust. I got them niggas in the car ready to shoot shit up. You mention me, boy, I'm a killer, best not test your luck. Your bitch a groupie, all up in my DMs tryna fuck. These niggas lying in they songs, you know they capping. I'm on the block, I put in work, you niggas slacking. My nigga get jammed up and then we go and post bail. But if your nigga run up, we gon' send his ass to hell. Ain't have a ruler, kept a Ruger when I was in school. I'm hitting ops with this stick like I'm playing pool. Handy manny in this bitch, we got all the tools. You hate me now, damn nigga, I thought we was cool.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, They built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Now, this is what we are faced with, and this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing. Bitches banging, 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 banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, bang, ho, bang, bang, bitch, nigga, bang, 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 ho.
Smoking on up, you got that life.
You talking choppers, you getting right. You on the block with the dope every night.
Said he wanted some scratch, so we took him
Let
on
me know,
life.
say you wanna get paid, you wanna be right.
He team 4K got slapped
Walking
with
down,
pipe.
still got on these shades, even though it ain't night. Cause they little pink pistol, all let's go on a SRT with a Draco tight. Got a little boy way, can't sleep at night.
You gotta go get that motherfucking dope. You gotta run, say fuck out that hoe. I was just broken, I didn't have a friend, so I went in the trap and I sold me some dope.
Let's
For
go.
real.
Poppin' purse, make her suck dick for an hour, get to work. I told the bitch to get nasty for double. She bought her best friend, nothing for each other. Okay, for me, make her fuck my brother. Got a team full of players, free band, no struggle.
Big 4K down to the door.
Might get in there, mo, go dig with a shovel. Break out the chopstick, hit on wherever. Broad daylight, bitch, I'ma get on wherever. Let's go, double O walk on this bitch, but I like to talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
Purpose said walk on this bitch, the purpose said talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
I just be geeking out drugs, taking all kinds of shit. Bitch wanna fuck, she fine, and she all kind of bitch.
Running through the design, don't care about shit. The world one time, though. Rich little man got shot, he slide, little boy, you a bitch. 15 ball, one plate on me. 15
Peace. What's going on? What's happening? MD's Thought Box Live on a Friday. Hope everybody had a wonderful day. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. What's going on with y'all, man? Me, hey, I'm still in the box, man. I don't supposed to be, but I'm still in the box. I ain't complaining. I'll be home tomorrow. It is what it is. Hey, get the bread. How's everybody doing this evening? I don't know if you got plans tonight, but if you don't, spend time with your boy MD tonight. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into some news stories. I'm gonna go through my monologue of the main topic, get that on out the way. Then we're gonna break down some of this news. A very newsworthy week this week. We're gonna get into of course, Trump trial. The jury is set. First thing Monday morning, 9:30. You got opening argument. So we're gonna get into that. More news on the MAGA maniac civil war in the House of Representatives with your boy MAGA Mike Johnson. We're gonna get into that. Don't know if you heard or not. Israel retaliated against Iran just yesterday. Well, what do y'all think it was? Do y'all think it was just a show of force to let Iran know what's going on, or is it a dick measuring contest at the end of the day? We'll talk about that. All type of stuff going on this week. But let me say this first, right? Peace, Ricardo. What's up, man? I'm gonna put the link in the chat after my monologue. Let me say this first, and we talked about this Wednesday. Let me reiterate. I'm currently chronicling the downfall of a person that I grew fond of throughout the years, Angel Snupnup 7. But let me say this, and I'm leaving it alone. do not, I repeat, do not at me in posts, videos, whatever the situation may be. I'm going to see it. Chances are. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see the damn video. I'm going to see the post. You don't need to at me, mention me in any of these goddamn posts trying to draw attention. It's a sign of weakness. You don't need to do it. Talk as much shit as you want. I can't stop that. I can't stop that at all. Damn, my camera look crisp as hell tonight. It look more crisp for whatever reason. I don't know, but I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need to at me or mention me in any other shit that you do. You know, it'll come around. You know, I have a chuckle, or I'll if I feel the need to respond, I'll respond. But other than that, look at me as the watcher. Look at me as just somebody surveying a mental breakdown. In no way, shape, or form am I personally attacking anybody. I'm just noting a certain scenario. That's all I'm doing. So don't fucking at me in none of the dumb shit that you say or do. I'll see it. I mean, you should know that. You know what I'm saying? This Mac 285 person, I don't know this person. He added me as well, which gives me further sign that it's just an entity at the end of the day. See, this is my conclusion of what is going to transpire through the future, right? This Mac 285 person is nothing more than a conjuring of an adversary that you think that you need right now in order to push through whatever mental phase that you're going through. It's just another entity. I said the shit was gonna happen. I said it was gonna happen. But ultimately, still, I keep to what I said. This is a battle that you must fight alone, my brother. You got to fight it alone. You must walk through this fire under your own volition. I'm just keeping the buck with you. You know, I'm gonna let you rock out. I'm gonna let you, you know, get whatever you need to get off your chest. But other than that, I can't ride the wave with you, nor can anybody else. You know what I'm saying? You got to rock. You got to rock out, my brother. And hopefully you come out a better man on the other side. With that being said, let's get into tonight's monologue. The age of Caesar is what I'm talking about. What do I mean by the age of Caesar? Currently, right now, I'm listening to this book by Oswald Spengler, entitled "The Decline of the West," volumes 1 and volume 2. Lengthy. Book wise is almost 2,000 pages. Because I think volume 1 on its own is like 990 something pages. Lengthy book, published in 1918, right after the Great War, or World War I. A German fellow by the name of Oswald Spengler. I knew of him, but I didn't know about any of his work because I knew Hitler had studied him a little bit or whatnot. And in this work that he produced, he talks about essentially the fall of Western civilization. And he philosophically breaks it down to the best of his knowledge and his interpretation. So basically what he does is he akins civilization, and it don't matter what civilization, but you know, he talking about the West in particular because that's what he was in. But he akins civilization to the seasons of a year, of a seasonal year, right? So he says spring is the age of thought, concepts being trickled out of brains, right? Right. So like the singularity of a thought process. So this is your age where you like get religions and certain philosophical concepts and what's the meaning of life and all different type of shit. Just thought springs forth, spring. You know what I'm saying? And then you have summer. Summer is the cultivation of these thought processes. So this would be the forming of religions, the manifestation of certain ideologies and principles or whatnot, and being distributed amongst the civilization, almost like a age of enlightenment, right? Where you got all these different concepts coming to fruition to cultivate the civilization. It's great. It's great at the beginning. Spring and summer, great. Then you got the fall. The fall. Peace, Ron. What's up, man? What's up? Hey, stick around. After I get finished with my monologue, I'm gonna put the link in the chat and I'm gonna start going through these news articles. I love to hear your take on some of this stuff going on from a liberal point of view. So then you got the fall, right? In the fall, okay, so cultures have been manifested, principles have been instilled into people. And then in the fall is like they call it like the Magian age, where you go out and you try it, you try to tell other people about these concepts, and then you start to deal in trade and all this different type of stuff with different civilizations. It's the amalgamation of a system, right? So and with the amalgamation of the system, again, you have you start to deal with like governments, the rule of law, right? Ways of thinking for your civilization or ways of interacting with other civilizations. This is the fall period. The formation of economies and shit like that, money, the way you deal with trade or whatnot. That's your fall period. And with that comes a clashing of cultures, a clashing of styles, if you will. You start to see tension. Even as if like within your civilization, because of the interactions of other civilizations, y'all start to amalgamate with each other. With the amalgamation, you get clashes, whether it be religion, whether it be economics, whether it be legislative issues, whatever it may be, right? So you start getting a hodgepodge of a lot of different shit. And with that comes conflict, the age of conflict in the fall. Then winter hits. Winter, as represented in nature, is death. Winter is the death of the civilization. And in the beginning of that civilization, you must have what they call the Caesar man. There could be multiple Caesar men within certain civilizations. Each civilization that's represented in the Faustian period, which is the fall. Faustian. Let me back up. There's another German literary work known as Dr. Faustus. Whoever heard of Dr. Faustus? Dr. Faustus was a he was a scholar, right? Dr. Faustus, I think, was written in like the 1500s, what that would have been the like the Holy Roman Empire period in the German Empire. Dr. Faustus was, it's a play. He was this scholar, right? And he was always looking for knowledge. It didn't matter where it came from. He was always looking for knowledge. And it got to a point where he was like, man, look, I need to know more. I need more. Like I need to be able to expand my enlightenment, right? So we called upon the devil to give him infinite knowledge and wisdom. So this being called Mephistopheles, right? Mephistopheles came and he was this demon. And Dr. Fauci told him, hey, look, can you change your, he wanted to change it to a friar. You know, like a friar is like I guess like in Catholic terms, like a entry level priest or whatever. So Mephistopheles changed it to a friar to better accommodate Dr. Faustus, right? So Mephistopheles told him, sell your soul to the devil for 24 years of infinite power, knowledge, and wisdom. And Dr. Faustus said, cool, bump it. So they signed the contract. Mephistopheles was great, through the years. Infinite wisdom. Technological advances ain't nobody never seen, right? But nearing the end of the 24 years or whatever, he was like, damn, like, I don't want it to end, you know what I'm saying? So around the time when it was time for him to go, it was Mephistopheles, Beelzebub, and Satan came. Like, hey, look, man, hey, it's time to pack it on up, you know what I'm saying? And throughout the years, him and Mephistopheles would have like these philosophical conversations, and that was the bulk of the story. You know what I'm saying? Talking about God and heaven and hell and just all type of stuff. And basically what Mephistopheles told him, he said, because of your yearn for knowledge and wisdom and understanding, it's made a conflict within you. Ain't shit you can do about it now, because like the devil owns your soul. But in reality, that's what it is. So in that fall period, the Faustian age is where humanity within the civilizations are looking for more wisdom. More in today's equation, people will call it transhumanism. What is transhumanism? Transhumanism is like a human evolution through science and technology and all that. And Oswald Spengler talked about that in the book. He talked about science and technology inevitably being the downfall of the civilization. So with all that being said, given the summary of Dr. Faustus, the Faustian age is over. Then you go into the Caesar age, the age of Caesar. Caesar kick off the wintertime. You kick it off because of the dysfunction and the conflict within the civilization based on all these different concepts and cultures and realities and government and money. The Caesar man is there to give a false sense of peace, equality. So if anybody know about Julius Caesar and how all that kicked off, it was a civil war with Julius Caesar and Pompey. During that time, in the Roman Senate, it was all type of shit going on as far as how to rule Rome. When Caesar came through, he made himself, after he crossed over the Rubicon and took control of Rome, and the way he took control of Rome was through his army and through what they call the plebeian. It's basically like the common folk, the plebeians, right? The plebeians were the common folk that were like tired of the way the rule of law was. So the plebeians was with Caesar, and they was cool with him being dictator. But as the story go, everybody know, the Senate killed Caesar, and it didn't do shit because it was still turmoil and conflict and corruption all throughout government. Caesar wasn't able to stop it. Inevitably, because all that corruption and everything, the Germanic barbarians was able to come through the Eastern Roman Empire, they got the hell on. They said, look, we finna go somewhere else. They created the Byzantine Empire. And then I think it was 472, I could be wrong, somewhere around that time period is when the fall of Rome happened after the Germanic tribes took it over. There you go, Ricardo. Ricardo know what's up. So after the plebeians and the common folk of Rome put all they heart and they soul into this Caesar-like figure, Caesar, based on a falsehood, based on the getting away from the rule of law, it caused nothing but more turmoil, more destruction, more corruption within government. And from that point on, that's the representation of the age of Caesar, winter, the destruction of the civilization. So with all that being said, and if anybody want to check out that book, let me do this. Like I said, interesting book. It's long as hell. But y'all know I'm about knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So anybody want to check out that book, The Decline of the West, Oswald Spengler. This is the abridged version, but it's 2 volumes. Like I said, it's long as hell. Maybe you'll be better off with the abridged version. I'm listening to it on Audible. Not Audible, but Everand. So with all that being said, we're giving you a synopsis of the whole backdrop, the whole story. I posed a question. Is Donald Trump the physical representation of the age of Caesar? And I say that because, you know, look at all the similarities of what Oswald Spengler said and what's happening right now. Look at all the similarities. Turmoil amongst Congress right now. Turmoil. They not even trying to legislate based on their own principle. They're not even doing that. Points of contention when it comes amongst the people. You could honestly say that the MAGA maniacs are a full representation of the plebeian. Full representation. Ill-informed, low information. Quote unquote common folk. Looking at this figure to bypass all rules of law and dictate based on some type of nationalistic view. That's exactly what Caesar did. Exactly. When he crossed over that Rubicon, it was for the Roman people, nobody else. So you can look at the MAGA maniacs and see a clear similarity when it comes to the plebeians and the common folk that was down for Caesar at the time. Caesar was always looking behind his back. Always. Caesar told the people that they was out to get him, that he was being persecuted. Trump do the same thing. Now, here's me personally. I would say everything rings true with Trump except for the fact that Trump is for the money. And Caesar wasn't for the money. Not. See, it's hard to say because not on the back end of what he portrayed to the people. You could make that argument for Trump too. You could definitely make that argument for Trump. That face value, a MAGA maniac would tell you is really not about the money when it comes to Trump. But a sensible person know that it is. You know what I'm saying? A sensible person. So in that aspect, I could say, you know, the similarities outweigh the differences. But it's an honest question. Are we living in the age of Caesar? Is this the beginning of the end when it comes to American civilization as we know it? And then, of course, because Oswald Spengler looked at it as seasons, the process reset. So after the destruction of the civilization, then you go back into a primitive state, and then individuals are able to sprout new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of thinking, new concepts when it comes to religion and philosophy, and the process start over again. It's another year. Do y'all think that's possible? It's an intriguing an intriguing way to look at it. It make you think, like, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It definitely make you think, man. So that's what I mean when I say the age of Caesar. And from here on out until we get the results in November, that's what I'm gonna call it. We living in the age of Caesar. And as of right now, Caesar is crossing the Rubicon. Will he be successful in battle? We don't know yet till November. Just don't know. But the doors of the church are open. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and like give me your thoughts on like what you think? Like, are we right now living in the Faustian age, awaiting Caesar? It's an intriguing question, like I said. But let's get into it. All right. First, what y'all want to talk about first? It's cold as hell in here. Damn. I guess we'll go to Trump trial. Oh, I I stopped today, right? I look at news throughout while I'm driving, but I went in when I stopped. I went and got me something to eat. I'm in Louisiana right now. I went to the casino. I won $100. Went to the casino, played slots for a little bit, came back to my truck. I said, all right, let me go and set up for the show or whatnot. I'm perusing through news feed. Somebody done set their damn self on fire in front of the courthouse in Manhattan. Some goddamn MAGA maniac, because that's what he was. Because the shit that I saw, they played a video that was on it. So the nigga is crazy. A MAGA maniac set himself on fire in front of the courtroom, a courthouse, whatnot, in solid protest of the persecution of Donald Trump. Let me play that video. I said, damn. He said, win is a win. Hey, man. Hey, bro. And that ain't the last of it. That ain't the last of it, folks. This shit is going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. Trust and believe. That's just what it is. And to think, right? Only a couple months ago, shout out to Vancat, Ricardo, and Mike over at TFP Texas Politics every Tuesday, 6:30 over at Straight Talk Society. We covered the story of the soldier that self-immolated in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington, right? Tragic story. Did it in protest. Can we safely say that there may have been some type of mental issue? Yeah, of course. No question. Then you turn around and have this person in protest of Donald Trump, a man that's currently on trial for hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels, an adult film star, during his wife in a nursing period that had just birthed They son Barron. Like, what the hell is going on? But these people finally believe, that this is a revolution. Going back to the age of Caesar. This is what we dealing with, folks. I can't make heads or tails of it. Hey, you 100% right, Trev. You're 100% right. But just think about it. Just think about the thought process in terms of what makes them. They may already have something mentally going on, but the trigger is these type of events. That's the trigger. So on this one, I'm gonna play the video. I ain't gonna read no article because for me, it literally, I just literally found out about it a couple hours ago. But this is the mindset. I'm telling you, this is the mindset that we're dealing with when it comes to these MAGA maniacs. It's all fun and games, laughing and picking at them, but this is the mindset, folks.
Headlines. A full jury has now been seated for former President Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial in New York City. Opening statements are set to start on Monday. And a man is in critical condition after setting himself on fire this afternoon in the park directly opposite the courthouse. Emergency crews extinguished the flames and rushed him away on a stretcher. Police officials describe the scene.
Court officers, members of the police department, they run into the park. They make efforts to put him out. They use their coats, they use fire extinguishers. Eventually, FDNY responds. We're able to put the male, extinguish the fire, and from that point, we remove him to a Cornell burn unit, where right now he's there in a critical condition.
Authorities said the man threw pamphlets with various conspiracy theories into the air before setting himself on fire. Police in Paris arrested a man at the Iranian consulate today after he threatened to blow himself up. Officers swarmed the building and cordoned off the site. They found no explosives. The unnamed suspect was convicted last year of trying to set a fire at the same location. Paris is on high alert as it gears up to host the Summer Olympics. The Biden administration added new sanctions today on groups accused of raising money for extremist Israeli settlers in the West Bank. The action also targets the leader of a far-right group known for violence against Palestinians. The Treasury Department said those sanctions, quote, undermine the peace, security, and stability of the West Bank. Attacks on Palestinians have increased there since the war in Gaza began. The White House also announced today new restrictions on oil.
All right, so what we're dealing with is fanaticism, y'all. Fanaticism in its purest form. How deep will you go in order to instill some type of revolutionary thought that you think is conceivable? This is the issue with that type of thought in any manner. I'm just keeping it a buck. When we talk about these policy-driven figures, right? Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. You elect somebody that you believe from a policy standpoint is similar to your own thought. That's the whole point of voting. Speaking of voting, me and Solar, we're gonna have a discussion / debate Wednesday Time to be determined. I'm assuming it's gonna be 8:30 over there on Solar Mind Channel, SVDL, Solar Vision Debate League. Should black people vote? Of course, y'all already know my stance 100%. Yes, they should, based on the fact that the name of the game is to have elected officials that represent you and your efforts. And that's from the top all the way to the lowest of the low position. But when you substitute a policy-driven agenda with essentially an agenda of hate, anti-government, quote-unquote establishment, and then you have a Caesar-like figure that touts those type of arguments, that's what you get. You get fanaticism, a greater good type mentality is what that shit is. Fuck the process of democracy. Fuck that. The very thing that you base your evolutionary thought on when it comes to the founding of America. Fuck that. You get fanaticism. And you throw all policy, all morality, you throw that shit out the window. Throw it out. Because I'm putting all my chips on the table with this one person that's going to instill peace throughout the world. Caesar. I'm willing to give my all to this one person. Even though you can't find nowhere within the confines of government power going to one person. Yet that's what they want. And they show it to you every fucking day. The MAGA maniacs show you that every single day. It's not that they don't understand government. It's that they don't want government. It's no difference between a MAGA maniac and an ultra extreme Pan-African. No different. But yet they fight so hard at trying to be on the opposite ends of each other when really they're not. Sometime in the future, I'm going to do, and I've been saying this shit for so long. But now that I'm on my own channel and I'm willing to take the risk, I'm going to do it. MD's Antisocial Book Club presents The Turner Diaries. I'm going to play that whole fucking audiobook right here. And then you'll have a better understanding of what they really mean when they say anti-government. Now, me, I have a lot of libertarian views. I do. I consider myself a social libertarian, meaning that the government should be there to protect my rights and also lift up the people in order to become independent and have a sense of individualism. Because that's how all this shit started. That's how America started. So if America started that way, every person that becomes a United States citizen should be afforded that right. You got to start somewhere. You just don't land on the shores and automatically you're an individualist. It don't work that way. That's why I fight for reparations. People ask me, how the hell you an individualist, but then you turn around and say you're a reparations? It's easy. If you know the history of America. It's simple. You can't name not one group of people that came here that wasn't afforded the opportunity by the government. Can't name. You simply cannot name. That's why Woodrow Wilson and his theory of rugged individualism was never going to work. Not amongst the crisis that befell him. Well, not him, but befell America only 15 years after he said that. If that was the case, when the Great Depression hit, that should have been the fall of America right there. It almost was, because out of that sprouted new ideas, new thought processes. I'm going to talk about that in MD's political expose, America First. In a lot of ways, FDR was a Caesar man. In a lot of ways. But that's another story for another time. So again, going back to the news, Trump's trial officially starts with oral argument Monday 9:30, and it's going to be interesting to see. Ricardo says the question, MD, is why didn't America fall then? Do you feel it was pure luck? No, I just said if it wasn't for the New Deal and FDR, it probably would have failed. The New Deal was revolutionary. Now it had its flaws because it created some policies that I don't agree with, of course. But at the same time, I can understand that at that time it was a necessity. I think if FDR was resurrected and you asked him that question, I wholeheartedly believe that he would say some of the stuff that he enacted into law, he didn't plan on it being permanent, even down to Social Security. Now I'm for one to say, okay, I can understand Social Security being permanent. I can definitely understand it. But some of the trade laws, some of the union laws, in my heart, I don't believe that he intended for those things to be permanent. Some of them, not all, some. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's just that's a political discussion that can go either way. It ain't no right or wrong answer because we all got different ideologies. We all got different perspectives. But that's just what I think. You know what I'm saying? But I think without the New Deal, America probably would have failed. I'm gonna just keep it above. So let's go to Trump's trial real quick. Let's go. I want to go to something current. This is going 3 days. I don't want to go 3 days. Oh shit. Hold on. And like I said, anybody want to come up and discuss anything, the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Let's go to the New York Times. Let's go to the New York Times here. If it let me, because they like to put shit behind a paywall. Let me see. All right, this from the New York Times, folks. It's talking about, this is current today, day 4 of Trump's trial, criminal trial, 5 takeaways. A full jury is seated. A horrifying incident shocks the court, and opening statements are set to begin on Monday. There go your man right there. The first week of the criminal trial of Donald J. Trump ended with a disturbing jolt. A 37-year-old man set himself on fire outside the courthouse, an event that overshadowed the legal proceedings inside. Big change. The news of the immolation rippled through the press corps just as the final members of Mr. Trump's jury, including 12 seated jurors and 6 alternates, were being sworn in. Reporters rushed from the lower Manhattan courtroom. But the trial's pace, which has been faster than expected, did not slack. After lunch, Justice Juan M. Merchan conducted a hearing to determine which questions prosecutors might ask Mr. Trump if he were to testify in his own defense. Mr. Trump, 77, is charged with falsifying 34 business records in an attempt to cover up a payment to Stormy Daniels, an adult film star actress who has said they had several sexual encounters in 2006. Prosecutors have said he did so to better his chances of winning the election. He has denied the charges. The former president could face probation or prison if convicted. Now, let me ask a question real quick. What do y'all think? Even if he's convicted of these charges, which I think he should be based on the fact, and I don't know if this story is going to get into this, based on the fact that Michael Cohen went to jail alone, should bring a guilty plea, not a guilty plea, but a guilty verdict. Based on the fact that Michael Cohen went to jail, he used Michael Cohen as a fall guy to make the payment. Based on that, he's guilty. Just based off that. But what do y'all? But even if he's found guilty, I do not think just to have an understanding. I don't think he'll face any jail time based off of that. I just don't. But what y'all think? But in any event, let's continue. Opening statements in the case are expected Monday. Here are 5 takeaways from Mr. Trump's 4th day and the first week on trial. We have our jury, and many are probably familiar with the Lexington Avenue subway. The process, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but the process was grueling at times. But we have a panel of 12 Manhattanites who comprise the jury and 6 alternates who will hear the evidence and may be called upon to step in if jurors are excused or disqualified. It is a diverse bunch, both in their neighborhoods and professions: a Harlem educator, a Chelsea tech worker, a product manager from Upper Manhattan. The alternatives who were added Friday included a fashion worker from Chinatown, an information technology specialist from Inwood, and an unemployed woman from Murray Hill. The most heavily represented neighborhood, it seems to be the Upper East Side, with 5 sitting jurors or alternates. Trump is almost out of options to stall. Mr. Trump's prevailing legal tactic has always been to delay. But on Friday, Mr. Trump's efforts to forestall next week's opening statement and subsequent testimony seem to be running out of gas. As jury selection concluded, Mr. Trump was losing a bid in an appeals court to pause the proceedings while a full panel of the court could consider a motion to move the trial out of Manhattan. Justice Merchan also seemed done with efforts to stall the case further, telling defense attorneys in no uncertain terms that he was proceeding with the case on Monday. Prosecutors seek permission to confront Trump with his legal losses. Mr. Trump has said that he wants to take the stand saying that he wants to tell the truth and that the prosecution has no case. But if he does testify, he will open himself up to questions from prosecutors who cannot otherwise compel him to speak. On Friday, Justice Merchan held a hearing over the topics prosecutors could question Mr. Trump on were he to testify, including a civil fraud trial in which the New York Attorney General won $454 million from the former president after proving he had conspired with others to inflate his net worth. Prosecutors are also asking to bring up a civil jury's finding last year that Trump was liable for sexually abusing the writer E. Jean Carroll. Emil Bove, a lawyer for Mr. Trump, said that introducing questions about the civil fraud trial would take the criminal trial down a rabbit hole and confuse jurors. Now, what y'all think that means? Basically saying that he gonna incriminate himself further if he do that. So, if I was a defense attorney for Donald John Trump, I'd tell him, don't get your ass up there on that damn stand. That's what I would say. But hey, who am I? Justice Merchan said he would rule Monday, presumably before opening statements. The immolation shattered the focus on Mr. Trump, if only briefly. At about 1:35 p.m., damn, this happened earlier. I wonder why. I don't know. Like I said, man, I've been sliding and gliding. At about 1:35 p.m., Justice Merchan was preparing to swear in 5 alternates. A scene of horror erupted in a small park just across from the courtroom. A man had set himself on fire after throwing leaflets promulgating anti-government conspiracy theories into the air. Onlookers screamed, and bright orange flames engulfed the man. The man, identified as Max Azzarello, 37, of St. Augustine, Florida, was taken to a hospital and was in critical condition. The self-immolation, which occurred just behind a battery of television news crews, did the seemingly impossible, temporarily drawing attention away from Mr. Trump's legal battles. Later on Friday afternoon, Justice Merchan reconvened court, but the reverberations continued. Officials said that many inside the court were deeply shaken and sad. The entire court is impacted by this, said Al Baker, a court spokesman. The trial was expected to be dramatic. It has lived up to its billing. There was a crush of reporters at a Manhattan criminal courts building and a defiant and divisive defendant, delivering broadsides against the prosecution and judge as he entered court. There were courtroom clashes and unexpected twists. The first week of Mr. Trump's trial did not fail to deliver drama, including a steady stream of potential jurors who said they simply now this is the part, and this is what ultimately might delay further. We'll see, but this is what ultimately might delay proceedings even further. Potential jurors who said they simply could not be impartial, and lawyers for the defense battling, often unsuccessfully, to get rid of jurors they felt could not be fair. Some potential jurors wept at the thought of being seated on the jury. A lot of these folk didn't even want to fucking be there, and I get it. Let's talk about that for a minute. I get it. Peace, Van Cat. What's up? Again, the link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and talk about any of this? You know what I'm saying? Feel free. Now here's the issue with me when it comes to the jury. We already seen earlier in the week a juror that was seated that got ousted by Fox News. Matter of fact, I may pull that story. I just may pull that story. I don't think that's the end of it. I think that we gonna see, and some type of way, some of these jurors may get ousted. And then, of course, you already know the MAGA maniac media is gonna be on top of it in regards to telling personal information, just like they did that juror that eventually left on behest of Justice Merchan. Some of these folks fearing for their life, just straight up, because they know that these MAGA maniacs is capable of some outright dastardly shit. If this dude was willing to set himself on fire in front of the damn courthouse, what you think he'll do to you or me? So 100%, I get it, hands down, 100%. Let me bring Vancat up real quick before I finish up. Peace, Vancat, what's happening? You still on mute, bro. I guess he's setting up.
Hey, what's going on, MD?
Hey, I can't call it, man. I can't call it.
MD, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you clear.
Okay.
Okay.
My volume was down. That's what it was.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what you think about the first week of Trump's trial?
It's as nutty as you would think it would be. Oh my God. So some guy set himself on fire. I didn't know that. I just woke up, by the way. I'm
Oh
living this
yeah, see,
toddler life right now. Golly.
I hear
Um,
you, man. I hear you.
I passed out after work. I can't even stay open. Yeah, this is crazy. I didn't know this happened today, but I mean, it's funny though. They go to the extreme for a guy that really would not give a goddamn. If they were on fire, he wouldn't pee on them to put it out. It just doesn't make any sense why the extreme, but we got to be in context here. So a guy put himself on fire to protest this war in Israel. Nobody thinking about that right now at all. So,
Right.
we pick and choose what has more impact. So I think he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Now, did that guy die? Did they have any information on that? Or
Well, as it stands right now, according to the report, that he's in critical condition at a New York hospital.
all right, so he's good as
Because you
dead.
got to remember, everybody, you had a whole line of news crews that was around, and I even saw a video. I'm gonna try to find that video. I even saw a video that the guy was recording like on his phone, and he was trying to get the cops. He was like, "What the hell?" He was like, "This guy about to set himself on fire." You know what I'm saying? So it was a slew of people around when he did it.
Yeah,
Unlike the guy in Washington, it was nobody around. Like nobody. You know what I mean? It was a Sunday, I believe, that he did it
right,
on.
right.
Nobody was there. You know what I mean? Except for like a couple of cops. But so as far as I know, he's in critical condition right now in the hospital.
Yeah,
Peace,
that's
Ricardo. What's up, man? What's happening?
What's going on, MD and Venkat Extraordinaire? I
so.
mean,
So yeah, you got any thoughts on first week of the hush money case?
um, I mean, there's nothing really like we pretty much knew or expected what we saw was gonna happen. The most fascinating thing was probably the fact that they had that juror that they ousted out because like I was asking in the chat, I'm like, do you feel like any of these jurors can be impartial to this man? Like we pretty much know who Donald Trump is. The question of the day is, can they pick people that have no political agenda, no adoration for this man? Can they pick a monk or somebody from the Himalayas or somebody who has no interest at all in this man, where it will be so?
It's impossible.
And that's my point. It's gonna be very. I feel like it's the pool has already been skewed. So I don't know. It's almost reminiscent of when they were picking the jurors for, although it's not the same thing, but O.J. Simpson, or when they were picking for like any other case where it was like a high clientele. I just don't see how they could be fair in the way that they will think. But maybe that's just me. But I've seen Stranger Things. I just feel like if based on what you were saying, MD, if they're picking people from just Manhattan, or you know what I mean, like a certain part of the population, it becomes a problem. So I don't know who's in charge of this election pool, but I'm hoping that it's a rigorous. They did a lot of vetting there, because some of these people have such high adoration for this man that I just, for me and you and Venkat, we can't understand it, but maybe it's just us. But that's just my thought process. As for the guy that set himself on fire, again, and I'm gonna echo this sentiment: when there's nothing left to burn, you have to set yourself on fire. Why would you like set yourself on fire? This is almost like when they used to, the Buddhists used to themselves back in the day. If you remember, maybe some people are not even remembering most of that kind of thought process. Back in the day, they used to do that kind of thing just to be like, I'm gonna make a political movement, like probably more in Asia. I'm surprised this is now a thing here in North America. Maybe it's just me, but when did this become a thing? It's kind of weird. But the one with the Israeli consulate was strange, but this is even more stranger. And I don't want to see this thing start becoming a trend leading up to November the 14th this year. People, if you need help psychologically, I implore you guys to do it, but do not let this man that came up with a whole plethora of nonsense fool you into thinking that you should burn yourself. This is not it, folks.
Well,
This
well,
is
well,
not
Ricardo, sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna
good.
be like Usher. I'm gonna say let it burn, and I am more than happy for people to burn their ass, especially when you have that kind of intellect. Uh, Let it burn, baby.
Yeah, but Venkat, do you feel like people that we're giving too much credit? Do we feel like people really have that intellect, Joe? Because if you did have that intellect, again, why would you take your hard earned to spend on a shoe or Bible or any merchandise for a man that is a so-called billionaire? Going to burn yourself for him. That's crazy. That's almost on a cult like deal, like almost of what's that guy that the Jim, is it Jim Jones was his name, that
Oh yeah,
cyanide,
the Kool-Aid.
right, the Kool-Aid and people, or the Hale Bop one where they all thought they were gonna meet the Messiah when the Hale Bop was coming around in the 90s. It's almost like that. That's crazy. People like don't like, do we not know what the definition of cult means? It's not like, to me this is a political cult like thing, but it's crazy. Like I don't know, psychologically I think it's just a block, but no, that why are you burning yourself, folks? Like, this is just nuts to me. But I'm sorry, that was my thought process. There's a lot going on, including, and she trying to be the stooge for Trump, Alex Johnson, which is still crazy because he's the most conservative, I would say, in our day and age, Speaker of the House we've ever had out of dinner. So for them to oust him out of the House because they're not able to do the bidding quickly on behalf of Trump is crazy to me. But this is the political theater, Kubaki theater nonsense that I was expecting. So I have my popcorn ready, like I tell you guys. I'm just sitting back in there.
Yeah,
waiting for
we
them
gonna get
to-
it. We gonna get into that. We gonna get into Mike Johnson.
Got you.
So real quick. So again, the crazy world known as Twitter, right? I'm seeing stuff on Twitter saying that this guy was anti-Trump. Now, right now, let me see if I can let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can
I
pull
see
it up.
something that he's a Democrat.
What?
I
Yeah.
saw something saying that he campaigned for Bernie Sanders and some
Oh
more
wow.
stuff. So right now I got let me see. Hold on, let me go. Shit. I don't know. Y'all can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can. Let's see the true history of
Okay,
the.
so according to Twitter, now take it for a grain of salt. According to Twitter, this is the pamphlet that he threw up before he set himself on fire. It says the true history of the world, haunted carnival edition. We'll know our disinformation campaign is complete when everything the American public believes is false. In Occupy Returns booklet, our only goal, abolish our criminal government and replace it with one that serves all. I got it, because it's a video, so I got to stop it. I just want to read a couple of, all right. Our story starts with fascism. Okay, so it do sound like he was a left lunatic. So it says, our story starts with fascism, which is the government of con artists and thieves. Don't take my word for it. Here are Hitler's own words, blah, 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 blah. There are many con artists and thieves. I'm trying to see if he say anything about Trump in this. A fascist state then is a totalitarian cult. So I mean, hell, that sound like Trump. They
Yeah,
flip
yeah. I mean,
morality
he's
on.
talking about Hitler, so you're right there. You're getting warmer.
So yeah, so again, we developing all this stuff as is. I knew nothing about it right before I came on. How I didn't catch it and it happened at 1:30 today, I don't know. But I am on Central Time right now, so maybe
Well,
that got something to do with it.
they don't like to report stuff like that. That's what it is. So they're not really flooding everything, all the information.
Right. Because everything that I was hearing saying he was a Trump guy.
Right.
So it sounded like, yeah, he was a lefty lunatic. But even in any event, still, you can't get away from the fact that so much attention, so much drive surrounds the Caesar-like figure, which is Donald Trump. You can't get around it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That's the issue with the whole thing that I talked about at the beginning of the video when it comes to the Caesar man. He is the figure, whether it be for or against, that all this shit is being surrounded. So when you look at it from that aspect, it's troubling. It's very troubling. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back. Yeah, it's troubling, man. And again, going back to the trial, I believe it should be a clean conviction. I don't see how, like, I don't see how he can wiggle his way out of this one. But yet and still, I don't think it's gonna be any type of prison sentence. I just don't.
Hey, I just know if we rewind back, people were dismissing this case, saying it's not legit. It's like we're just throwing stuff in the air to see what lands and here and there. They made it seem like it wasn't that serious. It wasn't. Nothing is going to
Peace,
happen.
Apex.
And like he's facing too much in a little bit of time, and it's just going to go from one trial to the next. I mean,
Right.
I don't know how anybody with a functioning mind can look at this situation and be like, yeah, we want that. Like, come on, man.
Right. But here's the thing though, Venkat, and I said this when I started reading the article. The fact that Michael Cohen did he was sentenced to 3 years for
Exactly.
paying the money out. I mean, how can you get around that? And by the way, he's supposed to take the stand in this trial.
Yep.
So, you know, right there is the smoking gun. Like, you can't get around none of that. You know what I'm saying? Here's a person that was already tried and convicted in the same subject matter when it comes to this trial. You just gotta put the money together. Michael Cohen ain't got the money. Why would I think, right? Michael Cohen did at the time a nobody guy. Didn't nobody know who the hell he was. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna out the kindness of your own heart, you gonna pay this money to this woman so he could leave your friend Donald Trump alone. Or she rather. Come on, man. I ain't going for that. It should be an open and shut case.
It should.
You know, right. But like I said, you know, looking at the trajectory of how these trials are gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be sentenced any prison time. Based on the fact that they looking at the previous Michael Cohen case as a deciding factor of punishment, I guess you would say.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. But at the
he's
same
still
time,
going to lose, though, right? He's still going to lose the case.
Yeah. It's open and shut. It's open and shut. Now let's go back. Talking about ousting the juror that eventually stepped down.
Right.
Why is the Manhattan DA not bringing charges against Jesse Waters for doing the shit that he did on Fox News? Because that's illegal.
Just
You can't
what?
if you have a condition on the jurors to be confidential, then you got an asshole on Fox News saying personal information about said juror. Why are they not? They should subpoena his ass, in my opinion.
I mean, that would be great if they reacted that swiftly and quickly. Maybe they might push it later on, but
If it were you and me, they'll react that swiftly and
oh,
quickly.
oh,
We'll be in
without a
jail.
doubt, without a doubt. Oh
We'll be in
yeah,
damn jail.
oh yeah.
Again, I'm going to continue to say, this may not be the last time we hear of that type of situation in this case. A lot of these jurors are scared as hell. They scared
Well,
because
because the Trump
especially
maniacs
now,
are out there. Yeah, the Trump maniacs
right?
are out there threatening people.
Exactly. So we may have a couple more jurors, but luckily we got the alternates. But we may have a couple more jurors that the same situation may happen,
Do we
and the judge will recuse them from the case.
do we think that like there's some people over there that are such Trump loyalists that they will say anything and everything to get on there, act and behave as if they're impartial, they have no tendencies towards him in a negative or positive way, just so they can secure that seat to be able to help influence and help him through the trial. Because they've already shown all kinds of dedication at this point.
Right. Well, I mean that can go both. That can go both ways. Go ahead,
It,
Ricardo.
and I also hope that the perjury, there's a lot of perjury that occur. God, forgive me for saying it, because if you're gonna go on there, I think most people are not taking these court cases seriously, just like he's it seriously, and we're rewarding bad behavior. When it comes to anything that's illegal, I expect, and I've said this from the beginning when he was twice impeached. Why is it that we're allowing this man to get so much antics and not reprimand him? It's going to be the kabuki theater when we have these jurors going to go up there, or these people that are supposed to be witnesses or understand and whatnot. I expect them to grill the crap out of them and not let them get away scot. It's not one of those things that I want. I want them to, and like you said, MD, it should be an easy conviction, but you just never know. It's politically more, but I expect the decorum when it comes to the legalities to work itself out, and not just be like, oh, we're just gonna give him a slap on the wrist. No, you need to go at whatever he's been accosted for, get him for it.
Right. Yeah, man. Again, it's going to be interesting to see what more than anything. I just want to see the testimony. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Michael Cohen testimony. I want to see Stormy Daniels testimony. I've even heard rumblings that they may call Melania to testify. That's what I've heard,
That's
and that's going to be real interesting.
but
You
what about
understand?
That would
what
be
about
an epic fail.
but what about Barbie and Trump Juniors and the other ones? They're not gonna call them up either.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on if they could get, and it could go either way. It could go for the prosecution or the defense. It depends on what they could get from it. But I have heard. Matter of fact, I think that was CNN I was watching. They said, it's a possibility that the prosecution may call Melania to the stand. Kind of like a character witness. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of times character witnesses go after the fact, like during like the what do you call it, Van Cat? Shit. What is it called? After you get convicted. You know what I'm saying? But
Uh,
I did hear them say that. But yeah, it's gonna be. I just want to see the testimony. I want to see. Well, we're not gonna see it because because in New York they don't film in the court. But hell, I know how to read. I give me the transcript. That's all I need. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be interesting. But all right, let's move to the next thing. So Ricardo brought up Mike Johnson.
Mike.
Right? MAGA Mike is his name.
Mike.
So we saw today that they passed all the bills through the House committee, and they ready to go for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, from what I'm told, they're supposed to vote on everything. Now, here's what they did. Initially, the bill was a supplemental package, meaning everything was built into one bill. In some type of way, I guess to appease everybody. How you do that, I don't know. But to appease everybody, Mike Johnson separated everything. So from what I'm
He
hearing,
did it for real.
huh?
I heard that they were talking about that. So he actually did that.
Yeah. It's going to be 5 separate bills.
Oh boy.
The first bill is the Israel fund. Matter of fact, let me see if I can because I want to know the exact numbers for everything. Let me see if this article says the exact numbers. Yeah, it's going to be 5 separate bills. 5 separate bills.
So Ukraine funding will be its own bill?
Yeah,
Sir.
Ukraine funding going to be in its own bill.
Hey, no way
Israel
in hell
funding
it's
going to
not
be its
going to
own.
pass.
Yes, it's going. Everything is going to pass. Everything.
Exactly, and it's going to just expose them.
They showed Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everybody know Marjorie Taylor Greene. She like talking.
Yep.
Any opportunity she get to talk on the camera, she talk. Today, she did not talk. What is the guy's name? Manu Raju on CNN. He caught Marjorie Taylor Greene after they voted on the House rules. She stormed out Capitol Hill. Stormed out. No comment. That's what she said. I said, not from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not from Miss Potato Head. She loved talking. So that lets you know she heated. In my honest opinion, because after tomorrow they go on a week break.
Yes, they do.
My how they going on a week? They just had 2 weeks for Easter. But
I just don't know. The American workers don't get those kind of breaks. I mean, God damn.
So my here's my hot take. After tomorrow, and after they go out on a week break, first thing when they come back, I believe they're gonna try to oust Mike Johnson. They're gonna bring it to the House floor.
And then
that's my opinion.
So that's a spectacle that they're trying to do because they know the Ukraine thing gonna pass, but that's just gonna make them look better. Saying, hey, he passed it again, so the only thing we can do is get rid of him. But they know they can't stop that bill. And now Mike Johnson is the ideal person that they want in there. So who the hell are you gonna get in there?
I'm talking about you can't get no more MAGA than Mike Johnson.
Exactly.
And that's my problem. You got somebody that you want all along. You didn't like McCarthy because God knows we all said he was spineless to begin with and sold his soul to the devil. Then you replaced him with someone else. And the person that you replaced him with, now you're saying, okay, so he's not doing our bidding, so we got to replace him again. So who are you going to put in? I'm trying to figure in my head, who are you going to put next? Because if I was the Democrats, I would just let the show drag on, but we don't have time for that. Not this year. We don't. I from TFP. We don't got time for that right now. This is like the stalemate of none. We can't afford. In your head, MD, who do you think they could replace Johnson with? If we, based on what the knowledge we know of, that they're gonna oust, Johnson at this. At least the very least, probably the next 2 weeks. Who do you feel like they could replace him with? Nonsensical.
If I had to guess, I would say they would go back to Jim Jordan, try to get him in.
Oh Lord!
If I had to guess, because I think that's who they wanted originally anyway.
Yeah, but they didn't have enough votes for that.
You're right, and it's gonna be the same shit. because you got to remember,
they got 6 months before an election. We're gonna do another one of these 6 months before the election, showing the American voters how unstable and unworthy of the Republican vote that it is just amazing. Good of the 6 months before the
No,
election.
you absolutely right. And you know, again, it's going to be the same type of spectacle based on the fact that you got to remember the Republican Party is broken into basically 5 factions, right? All this shit that's going on in the Congress right now is happening because of one, the Freedom Caucus. One. Everybody else know how to play politics. But you got these idiots in the Freedom Caucus trying to bend to the wheel of Trump and try to make sure that everything that happens in Congress is suitable for him. The rest of the Republicans, they don't give a damn about Trump. Trump ain't in office. Why? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of them might say, yeah, you know, we're gonna back the Republican nominee, but at the end of the day, we still got a job to do, and that's why it seemed like every week now, somebody's saying, "Look, I'm not running for reelection. Fuck that." You know what I'm saying?
There's a trend. Yep.
Because these people are crazy. So again, if they oust Mike Johnson, it's gonna be the same thing we saw when they was trying to get Jim Jordan in. The same thing. And Jim Jordan gonna say, look, bump that. Y'all I'm not dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? and they're gonna pick somebody else. They're gonna put them on a pedestal, and it's gonna be a continued process. Because at the end of the day, why do people not think that you don't have to compromise as an elected official?
Because
that whatever you say is bound by law some type of way. It don't work that way. It never have.
Nope.
So again, man, you know, it's unfortunate, but let's see what the Democrats gonna do. On CBS News, House GOP's aid bills for Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan advance with Democrats' help. Now, this article, I believe, just getting into the construction of the bills themselves. I don't think they're getting into the drama. I want to know what the figures are when it comes to the allocation. Maybe they'll get into it. If they don't, I'll look for it later. The House cleared a procedural hurdle to advance legislation to provide billions of dollars in stalled security funding for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan on Friday, steering the measures closer toward passage this weekend. Now, I don't know if this article is going to get into it, but it's also 2 other bills that are being voted on tomorrow that was all bundled in one before they separated.
Of course they did.
So you also got the humanitarian aid bill getting voted on tomorrow, which is the humanitarian aid for Gaza. That bill is getting voted on. It's another bill. Oh man, see, I wish this article. What's that other bill? What's that other bill? It's another type of security bill. It ain't the border. It ain't that. It's something else.
Wasn't it about I wouldn't say it's like cybersecurity or something like that. Oh crap. I was reading about it today and I completely got a brain fart.
I remember what it was. It's another bill getting voted on tomorrow. Remember, the United States sanctioned a lot of those oligarchs in Russia when they invaded Ukraine, and they froze money up. The appropriation bill that they voting on tomorrow, this the 5th bill that nobody seemed to be talking about. They're gonna vote to see if that money will be unfrozen and given to Ukraine.
Perfect.
Flawless
victory.
That to me, that bill is more important from a drama standpoint than the actual Ukraine funding, because then let's see who vote no on that and expose themselves.
Exactly.
Like I said,
a lot of exposing.
There's going to be a lot of expertise in regards to that bill, because I think there's a lot of ties that we're not able to see, but there's a lot of connections there as well, which, you know, goes real deeper if you take in context based on what we know and the knowledge we know. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
But
hey, I told you, man. I told you straight up. I wholeheartedly believe right now that Trump is in Putin's pocket. I'm convinced.
but we kind of
Go
we
ahead.
kind of oh, MD, sorry to cut you off. From the get-go, when this whole thing started with them trying to do the connection of and I hate to say it as well, with Biden and his son and whatnot, and the connections from there was like a lot of things I heard Trump saying, and I'm like, how the hell was he privy to that information when you had nothing to do with that? So it's kind of like if you follow, you pick up the breadcrumbs that were being laid, it was almost as if they were doing it in a sense where they were like gonna do, maybe it's just me putting on my tin hat on, but there was like a whole bunch. Look back, if you remember, if you remember what I'm talking about, when before this whole thing became a political theater, it was him saying, oh, but we have this and we found a laptop and I'm saying to myself, but how are you privy to information? It's almost reminiscent of when the whole Hillary and him running, as mates, political mates. It like he was privy to a lot of information that we wouldn't have been privy to other than the CIA. So how did he know that? It would be the connection to him being in the pockets of Putin. But that's the story. But we know, but a lot of people will say, nay, that's not true. Maybe it's just me.
Hey, yeah. Again, like I said, the way stuff is going in Congress right now, you can't tell me otherwise because it makes no sense. You willing to essentially shut down the government to not vote on one part of a bill involving Ukraine aid. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah, this I don't know. Something's really
But
off.
all right, let me read this, and I'm gonna read down to this point, and this gonna give further context. It said the full House voted to approve the rule for debate on the legislative package with broad bipartisan support, 316 to 94. That was the vote today. Overwhelmingly passed. Democrats ultimately delivered more votes than Republicans.
Of course.
165 Democrats 165 Democrats voted in favor, while 39 opposed it. That's your ultra progressive, like Bernie Sanders type. And 151 Republicans voted in favor, and 55 opposed. The 55, of course, we know who they are, the MAGA maniacs. After the procedural vote, House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters he was happy the rule passed, and said if it hadn't, the House would have been forced by a discharge petition to pass the Senate version of the bill, which he referred to as a blank check for foreign aid. Now, what he's referring to, if it wouldn't have passed, they would have went into what they call a discharge position, meaning it would have reverted back to the original package deal that the Senate had already passed. It would have reverted back to that, which I didn't have no issue with in the first place. You know what I'm saying? but in any event, even though it's not the perfect legislation, it's not the legislation that we worked that he would write if Republicans were in charge of the House, the Senate, and the White House. This is the best possible product. That ain't gonna never happen, by the way, but this is the best possible product that we can get under these circumstances to take care of these really important obligations, he said. The House will vote on final passage Saturday afternoon, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer asked senators to be prepared to stay the weekend to vote on the measure. President Biden has said he will sign it into law. So they're trying to get this out by Sunday, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The House Rules Committee reconvened late Thursday night and advanced the rule for the package on a 9-3 vote, thanks to the votes of all 4 Democrats who sit on the committee. Ranking member Jim McGovern of Massachusetts, Pennsylvania Rep. Mary Gay Scanlon, Colorado Rep. Joe Neguse, and New Mexico Representative Teresa Leger Fernandez. Now, this is the part right here. The conservative Republican hardliners on the committee. Representative Tom Massey of Kentucky, Ralph Norman of South Carolina, and Chip Roy, his dumbass of Texas, all voted against the rule
Chip
because
Roy.
border security was not being paired with foreign aid. However, the speaker said he would put an aggressive border bill to a vote on Friday. I think that's when they no, he's talking about today. It failed to advance out of the Rules Committee. See, and this is the problem. You talking all this shit, right? No, well, why is border policy not in the packet? Blah blah blah. Then y'all put it to the vote and can't get it passed. Crazy to me.
They just highlighting the incompetence. Oh my God.
It said it failed to advance out of the Rules Committee, but the House will consider it under a suspension of the rules, meaning that it's got to go 2/3 vote. So it looks like on Saturday, with all 5 of the other bills, they're going to put the border security bill to a vote as well, but it has to pass 2/3. It ain't going to be majority vote like the other bills because it didn't pass Rules Committee, which is not going to pass. It's not going to pass based on the fact that y'all already had a bill that y'all did not vote for. And the Democrats going to say, to hell with y'all. We're not voting for it. We voting nay. So y'all running a hamster wheel for nothing. The 3, 4, and 8 bills will provide, okay, here go the number. $26.4 billion to support Israel. $60.8 billion to bolster Ukraine. God damn. And $8.1 billion to counter China in the Indo-Pacific, including billions for Taiwan. The Israel measure also includes more than $9.1 billion to address Palestinian humanitarian needs, which Democrats said was necessary for their support. So the Democrats said, y'all got to put Palestinian aid in order for anything to work. A 4th bill is geared toward addressing the GOP foreign policy priorities. In particular, it would allow the sale of, here you go right here, frozen assets of Russian oligarchs to help fund future aid to Ukraine. Potentially force the sale of TikTok. Oh, damn, that's in it too.
Yep.
Force the sale of TikTok and authorize stricter sanctions on Russia, China, and Iran. If all the bills pass the House, they will be combined into one package before being sent to the Senate, according to the rules, which it will pass in the Senate. President Biden said he will sign the package into law and call on the House to pass it this week, and the Senate to quickly follow. Both chambers are scheduled to be in recess next week. That's all I need to. Let me see. Oh no, let me see if they're gonna get into the drama. Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, announced the proposal on Monday. Blah 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 blah. Foreign aid has sown deep divisions among House Republicans. Some of the far right have threatened to oust Johnson from the speakership over additional funding to Ukraine, which they oppose. The effort, led by your girl, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Moscow Marge is what they're calling her now, of Georgia, so far has 2 other backers, Thomas Massey, and Representative Paul Gosar of Arizona. So they got another one. I believe they got him today, either today or yesterday, either one. So they got 2 other co-sponsors of the bill. Johnson defended his decision Wednesday and said providing Ukraine with lethal aid was critically important. So there you go. It says Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado predicted this could be the beginning of the end for the speaker. So there you go, folks. There you go.
So MD, I was watching the View the other day, and they had, I forgot who on the panel brought it up, but they were saying that the aid that the U.S. gives Israel for weapons, if they stop giving them that aid, Israel would only have enough weaponry that'll last 3 days. 3 days.
Yeah. I heard last weekend when Iran attacked Israel, a lot of the defenses that they used to intercept a lot of those drones and missiles, they had ran out of stuff for the Iron Dome. It was, they got a Patriot missile system over there too, which we operate. So a lot of that, when we were shooting down missiles, that was the Patriot missile defense system, not the Iron Dome.
Right.
So that lets you know right there. You know what I'm saying? So what would happen if we just up and suddenly say, hey, look, we're not gonna help y'all no more? It'll be over.
Yeah.
It'll be over.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I thought like it would be 30 days or a little bit more. So 3 days? Oh man.
That's
Like
it.
we literally funding that war.
That's it. And now don't get it twisted. Israel does they do manufacture weapons, but not those type of weapons. Like you got IWI and stuff like that. They
Right.
manufacture like rifles and like some of the Israel handguns and rifles are some of the best in the world. I ain't I ain't gonna dispute that.
But it sounds
But
like anything technically advanced ain't coming from Israel.
right. That's what it is.
And that
You can't shoot
dumbass,
no missile out of the sky with a handgun.
yeah, they were saying, they made the statement that accuracy is not as important. They're just like
That's crazy. That's like you saying like a sniper's accuracy is not important. That's
they
nuts.
just want to just hit people. That's it, no matter who it is, indiscriminately. And it's shown
Yeah,
by the amount of dead kids that have come out
they
of this.
don't give a
And,
damn
and,
as long as it ain't no Israeli. They don't care.
Well, they
and
hit them too.
and that's my issue with all of this whole propaganda that they're doing. They're not showcasing the deaths of all these kids that have literally been so horrific to like see, but the world needs to see it because for the longest time, if I remember well, even living in the Caribbean, I'm not sure if it was the same for you, Van Cat, but we were never privy to seeing any of those images. It was always pro-hit the Israel propaganda. Now that I've gotten older, I've kind of seen the extent of how the propaganda has really swayed the world the opposite direction when it comes, not to say that the Palestinian side of it wasn't just as horrific and bad when it came to the context, but what I've seen and noticed now as I've matured in age is that there's been a huge propaganda smear publicized around the world, and it's not like showing everything, they're just showing one side, but that's always the mythology of war. It's never going to be fair. It's always going to be skewed towards one side, and that's the sad reality and sad basis of what we're seeing now. And that's why I always say to people, like, make sure you're seeing or understand the whole context of the propaganda. It's really hard to see everything else closed off, and then it's like, oh, but hey, remember we were hostages. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? These are dead kids. Literally, I have children, and that's like hard for me to watch, but I digress.
Hey, I'm always in the park of the reality of things should always be seen. There should never be any kind of hidden things or edited. You have to see the casualties of war. You can't just be like, oh, let me get the deluxe edited version of this war, because you never get the general public to understand the full gravity of the loss that we experience here. So I think like a few wars back for the United States, they started showing more of like the dead coming back from wars and whatnot. But before that, they would just gloss over any deaths and never talk about it. And that's where the whole American population, they're not really like in it like that, like how they should be, because they're not aware of the just the deaths that are happening. We just hear about the exciting stuff like the bombs going off and the shooting and blah blah blah, but you're not getting the death. And like going back to like this whole thing about like with slavery and stuff like that, people got to a point where they don't want to hear about slavery. They don't want to see the movies. They don't want to hear anything about it because it's not a warm and fuzzy thing. If they had to go through it, at the very least,
Plausible
people should have
deniability.
right, exactly. They went through it. At the very least, you should just be able to just see it or understand it so that we could better address it when it comes back in our life. Because all these stuff come back in our life. You would never think that there would be some kind of Nazi resurgence or whatnot. You would think Nazis are bad, that's it. But because we have this tendency to gloss over things, hide things, not fully express what this means, everything has to be edited and sanitized and whatnot. No, you got to have the raw, dirty truth of things so you can stay in the reality of what this is. And because we have been doing this for so long, this is the reality we're dealing with now, where it's just unbelievable how we react to certain situations.
So Venkat is saying
Well,
all propaganda matters.
Hell
right.
yeah.
So I disagree with you on this point, Vancat. They will show it when it fits their narrative. Remember, in World War II, they made whole like propaganda like movies, videos
Fact.
showing the deaths of Jews and everything. Like they did it,
Yes, they did.
but they did it based on the fact that they were pushing a certain narrative. So when the narrative benefits the American way of life, they'll do it. But when it don't, they stay far away from it. You know what I'm saying? The whole issue, remember, people were still trying to disconnect from the thought of the United States being involved in World War II. So they was like, what do we need to do to show that we belong in this fight? So they came up with all these videos. I think you can still see some of them on YouTube right now. All these propaganda videos showing the destruction of stuff that was happening in Warsaw and all that, literally showing the dead bodies, literally. So they showed them to instill some type of patriotism in what they would, and that all goes back to America first. It's funny, it's funny how everything comes back full circle within the generations, right? The stuff that was happening in World War II, the American public at large were trying to stay away from it and try to falsify it through this sense of nationalism. But it never was that. You know what I'm saying? It never was that at all. That what it really was, that y'all was sympathizing with what Hitler was doing. That's what it really was. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So the Department of, well, I guess it wouldn't have been called Department of Justice. Whatever that department was called back then, came up with this whole media program to show what was going on. It was a fight for the minds of American people at the end of the day.
Right.
It was the America First people versus the central way of thought when it comes to American patriotism. So they came up with all these movies and all these videos showing the death camps and Jewish bodies being piled up to fight for the heartstrings of the American people. But again, that's an agenda-based thing. Whether it's right or wrong, however you think of it.
So when I was in school, before high school, somewhere in middle school, somewhere, or maybe a little earlier, I remember they played Holocaust footage and whatnot as we covered.
I remember.
So
I remember when
I
I was in school.
vividly remember the bulldozing all those bodies into graves. To show that fully, that always stuck in my mind. And when you look at the environment that we live in today, and you hear the stuff that comes out of people's mouth, they clearly didn't get what I got. Either they never, in their school, they never covered it. They never had that conversation. They never seen those videos. They never, I don't need to experience tragic moments or hardship to understand that don't look good for that person. I don't need to be talking about things that I haven't experienced in a counterproductive way because I didn't experience it. But then when I finally fall victim to that, then I start, oh yeah, we got to do this to help this or whatever. I very meticulously believe in looking at what it is, how it affects another person, and I don't need to be affected by it to be like, that's wrong. We need to do something about this. But like other people, you could tell like where they grew up at or whatever school or upbringing they had, they never had those moments, and it's glaring as we see all these stories and the situations that happen in our society today, that they just don't have the ability to process like this, how this is like. You should not have to. I'm against this because this is going to affect me. You should be against something because it's wrong.
Hey,
But
I
hey, that's
totally
just
agree.
me.
Yeah, I totally agree. But like I said, for to me, it's they understand that, but in order to garner influence of what whoever, like whatever entity it may be, is trying to do, it's almost like an inner struggle within the masses of society. It shouldn't be that way, but because of certain influences and cultures, and it is, and that's why it's important to identify it when you have this Caesar like figure that's supposed to be in a lot of people's eyes uniting the masses, which is bullshit. But uniting the masses based off of what? A sense of nationality, and that's exactly what America First did at that time. Let me. I wanted to play this video. So I don't know if y'all caught when Trump was at it again, and I forgot to do this when we was talking about it. He was at it again a couple of days ago. So
Yeah.
we had the Chick-fil-A incident last week. Now we got the bodega incident this week.
Not the bodega.
We got the bodega. Let me play this little clip real quick. This is sad.
Blackity black.
Let me start it back here.
Not in Harlem.
That's an audio recording. I don't believe in none of that. Anything that has to do with Trump in a positive way is always made up, but whatever.
And some
Yeah,
plan.
they found out it was staged. It was some type
It
of
was all
conservative group, that they paid to come out there.
Yep.
And like, this is sad, folks.
But again, he's been doing this from the get-go. Propaganda is his MO. When he went down that escalator, all those people cheering and whatnot were paid. I believe around like $80 or something each, or something like that. Come on.
$80.
Yeah, it was like $80, and then you're just supposed to you're just supposed to chair with him announcing he's running for president. This guy, there's not a legitimate bone. Again, this guy ride on the coattail of President Obama's record, sat in the White House, did absolutely nothing but watch daytime TV, and then went home before 6 o'clock. And that was his every day. He brought Russian people into the White House and shared classified information.
Lest we
Like,
forget.
there's just so many glaring things. There's not a legitimate bone. He's talking about his record. He's the only president with him and Herbert Hoover that have a negative jobs gain. But he's a jobs president. Like, there's nothing legitimate. This is historically the worst candidate in the history of American politics. His name is polarizing. People associated with him have what's called Trump stink. They can't get it off them. It follows them from industry to industry. Oh, I can't hire you. You were in the Trump administration. They're having problems getting positions because of their relation to the Trump administration. So everything he touches falls. People associated with him are going to jail, going to prison, and he himself is heading that road. And this guy is the first guy to run for president, not to help others, but to help himself from not getting in prison.
Somebody playing Sonic? I just heard say.
That's my ringtone. That's my ringtone.
Like somebody in the background playing Sonic. Yeah, man. So I guess the last thing I'll do is let me see here. Let me see where I want to go now. Do I want to go back to the abortion thing? I might.
But
Just
Anthony,
going for
don't you
this
see
shit.
like how weird that is? Like he just got all that backlash from Chick-fil-A. Oh, let's go right back in it.
Yeah,
Let's go to Harlem.
yeah, right back,
Wow.
right back.
Well, the
Harlem of
blacks
all
love
places.
chicken. They love chicken, so let's hit up Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Let's go to the corner store of all. Then he announced it when he came out of the courtroom, said, I'm going to the bodega.
Yeah.
Anybody know what that is? Like,
That's
come
my
Um.
on, bro. You in New
Yeah.
York, everybody know what a damn
Um.
bodega is. Like what?
exactly.
Like, yeah, I just don't know, bro. I just
Unbelievable.
don't know. I want to find this one video I saw the other day. Showing the outright hypocrisy of people like Carrie Lake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where was that? Where was I knew I should have saved that video.
She'll lose again.
Oh, let me play this one. This is totally unrelated, but it's wild nonetheless. Let me play this one. Shout out to Right Wing Watch of your favorite uncle Rudy Giuliani. Let's play that one. This is crazy. Now check out what this man just said. Totally unrelated, but I saw it. I said, yeah, I got to play this one.
Slavery was terrible. It was an awful thing that we did. So did almost every country in the world, long before us, thousands of years before us. And I think, at least we're the only modern country that fought a war to end it. Mm-hmm. And hundreds of thousands of white men died to free black men. Why don't we celebrate that? That's a heck of an extraordinary thing.
Hell of an extraordinary thing. We must celebrate the white people that saved us.
That is amazingly embarrassing.
Beyond.
Why don't we celebrate that, Van Cat?
Because they put us in the place that we shouldn't be in already.
But yet they're the same ones that are going to do All Lives Matter crap.
Right,
oh, yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Talking about being anti-woke and all of that. Like I said, whenever you hear a conservative speak about woke,
Yep.
that's a secret word for black. Don't get it twisted.
That's exactly what it is.
Facts.
Because woke is from the black community.
And that's coming from me, the individualist, y'all.
Right.
I'm telling you that when you hear a white conservative say anything about woke, they mean black. I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. Go ahead.
That's a dog whistle. That's a dog whistle to the racists. And they co-opted the word woke, which is not a new thing, by the way. I remember hearing about woke in the 90s. All of a sudden, these crackers came out and started saying, well, let's co-opt this and make it this other thing. Yeah, I just got to say what I got to say here, man. I mean, these crackers are wild. And I just think when black people just go with it and just let it just be, it's just disturbing to me.
And
not to,
this
yeah, go ahead.
Wow.
And we don't, I mean, if we're thinking about it culturally, black folks don't even use, like, it was a fad. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
We won't even use, and like a couple of years ago with the whole stay woke and childish Gambino, we don't use that word like that.
No, we don't.
You know what I'm saying?
They completely ruined that word for me now. I can't even listen, say that word out loud, like how I used to would say it. They just took every single time we do something for our community, somebody comes in and make it a fad, and it's like, oh, we can't even use that word in the context that we were meaning to use it for anymore, because they always weaponize the damn.
But that's mission accomplished, Ricardo.
Yep.
That was their mission the whole time.
Yep. Facts.
Damn.
I mean, it's reverse engineering of what they believe we've been engineered to do and say and see and all of that. But it's not reality though.
Right.
Everything they do is to counter what they believe the quote unquote system, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. There, from an ideological standpoint, to me, there's no difference between a MAGA maniac, white Christian nationalist, or Black Power, picking the head, Pan-African Negro. It's no different. You're touting a system, pushing some type of ideology on you, and you use a reverse tactic that's counterproductive in order to fight. Low-level collective thought, fighting low-level collective thought. That's all it is at the end of the day. Instead of you understanding and identifying the differences and coming up with strategies to coexist. You refuse to do that. The hell with that. You know what I'm saying? You would rather use what you think is being pushed as a defense mechanism. That's all woke is. Trying to, you know, almost like a judo move, trying to use what you think is being forced upon you and use its inertia and momentum to throw the shit out the way. Or
Right.
back at somebody. Like, that's stupid. When it's not, that's not the reality of the fact.
So when you talk about woke is being aware. How's that a bad thing? Secondly, what's the alternative? Slept? So you want me to be slept? Like, come on, man. Like, I am not gonna put my guards down on the stuff that they're doing off to the side. I mean, this just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are you really saying? And for someone that's pushing that, you just really got to question what is your true agenda here. So I'm not supposed to pay attention to this atrocity that's happened, that atrocity. Now, you know, we talk about cancel culture and all that. Even that's suspect because I lived it. I remember a lot of things that I liked being canceled because some religious mom or some jackass that's from the church is offended. So now everything got to be banished to appease their offendedness. So I can't see the full uncut version of Friday the 13th. I can't watch Married with Children because they said something off cuff. I can't watch Santa Claus killing people in a movie because they're offended. And it's like
the whole 90s done been canceled at this point.
Exactly, but who was doing that? The people of today that's calling people about cancel culture. The people that have been canceling people all these decades before it was a thing are the ones screaming cancel culture today. And we got to pay attention to this stuff, man. It's right in our face.
Yeah, hey, you're absolutely right, man. Let me play this video of Carrie Lake real quick and let me know what y'all think about this. I think it's I don't know why it's buffering like that, but hold on.
Carrie Lake and Donald Trump. At first, they admitted they wanted a national abortion ban.
I don't think abortion pills should be legal.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Now, they're pretending they won't back the ban if they're elected. They're lying.
This total ban on abortion is out of line with where the people of this state are.
Did Arizona go too far? Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out.
I agree with President Trump. This is such a personal and private issue.
Two frauds desperately running from the truth and from their real position. She backed the ban, and he's still bragging about ending Roe.
That I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade, and I'm proud to have done it. I was so honored to have done it.
They'll ban all abortion, even to save a mother's life. They'll end IVF, and they'll ban birth control. Donald Trump and Carrie Lake, they're the same. They're dishonest, deceptive, and dangerous for every woman.
Man, the Lincoln Project be hitting them with some stuff, man. The Lincoln Project don't be playing.
I like Lincoln Project. I ain't gonna be playing. They one big ass marketing firm, pretty much is all, because all they do is run commercials. That's all their videos is just commercial.
Yep.
But yeah, they exactly right. There was one video that I saw that Carrie Lake was on some type of panel. I think it was in like 2022. It was when she was running for governor. And she outright said, we need to bring back the old 18 whatever date it was law. She said it. And now all of a sudden Arizona went too far. I think we have to go with what the will of the people are. No, that's bullshit. That ain't what you said first. Some bullshit. So again, these people don't know if they're going up or down.
That
They
hey,
don't. That's
that's
what
a
it is.
classic. That is so well illustrating what a politician is. But the average person, they're thinking that the politician is subjected to being truthful, honest, all these other things. No, a politician should be what you allow it to be. And whenever voters are not holding people accountable, whenever voters are not following this person, that person, following this bill, that bill, and you don't understand, I'm not saying you need to be a Harvard professor level type thinking person on these type of issues, but just have some sort of context of what's going on at some basic level. Because the less you know in the public, the less you have to contribute to holding these bastards accountable. We always hear people complaining about the lies and the this. That's the game. That is politics. You can't get mad at the pig for being in the mud. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, your thing is the fence that keeps them isolated and not able to go all over the place and mess up the whole place. If you have no fence up, they can do whatever they want anywhere, anyhow. But, an unengaged public is a public that's going to get completely exploited by those same politicians you claim to not like. And that's why you got to be vigilant, and that's why you got to vote. Point blank. There's no way around
That's
it.
why you got to be informed on who the hell you're voting for.
Damn
You
right.
know what I'm saying? But you're exactly right though, Venkat. I'll say this: we find Trump and Biden now at a critical point when it comes to their constituent. With Biden, of course, we know it's the whole Israel-Gaza situation. You have a certain demographic of voters that's not rocking with that. How are you gonna do the diplomatic thing at the same time appeasing those people? The same thing with Trump. The hardcore Christian nationalist right is not rocking with abortion. They're just not. Some people may argue that that's your foundation or your base. And now you think it's almost like you're playing roulette, right? You bet on black or you bet on a certain number, whatever, and you ostracize the rest of the numbers or the red color. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance. Some people might not agree with this. At least with Biden, I can say that he's holding steadfast to what he think is right. It may be wrong because it is, to me, it's wrong. But he's at least holding steadfast to what he believes is right, and at the same time, at least trying to appease that certain progressive demographic with the humanitarian aid and all of that. With Trump, whichever way the wind blows is where his fart go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's seeing that the people in these other states, since the abolition of Roe v. Wade, are voting abortion in the states where he thinks he has the most base. States like Ohio, Arizona is going to vote for abortion. I don't give a damn what you say. Florida is going to vote for abortion.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Dumbass DeSantis, he don't know what the hell he doing. You know what I'm saying? Right. He got the 6-week abortion ban. That's coming up for a vote in November. All these states where you think that you have a majority, you're seeing that the people are going to vote in favor. Now you switch your ass where the wind's blowing. Oh, it's states' rights. It's up to the people. That ain't what you were saying before.
Yep.
You were telling, "Oh, I beat Roe v. Wade. We're gonna bring in a national abortion ban." Now all of a sudden, that ain't it. What the hell happened? So you gonna risk ostracizing basically your whole extreme right base, which is the Christian conservatives. You're gonna ostracize. They already talking shit about you now about it.
Yep. This is the issue.
Them.
This is the issue that's why he's going to lose. There's many reasons why he's going to lose, but this is one of the glaring issues. because it affects him on both sides. It galvanizes and energizes people on the left to vote, and people on the right that had his back, hearing him flip-flop like this, they're going to either vote against him or they won't vote at all. So that is a double-edged sword, and that's his own doing. So, I mean, this is so obviously clear what's going to happen. I can't wait for November so we can get past this stage of American politics,
Man,
because that needs to go to bed.
I'm so ready for November to come, bro. I want this shit to be over with.
Hell yeah.
Like
Hell
this,
yeah.
let's just go back to old-fashioned GOP Tea Party Republicanism. I take that over MAGA maniacs any day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where's Miss? I want old Miss McConnell back. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he probably ain't got nothing but a couple days left to live anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'll take that over the MAGA maniacs any day of the week. Point blank. Period. At least I know where they stand. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on with that. Hey folks, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Shout out to Ricardo and Van Cat, man. I appreciate y'all coming up and discussing these topics with me, man.
Oh yeah.
No doubt, no
No
doubt.
problem.
Van Cat, you watching Dynasty tomorrow, right?
I will try. What time? It's at 8 o'clock?
I'm assuming it's at 8 o'clock. I assume.
Damn it. At least it's a Saturday.
Yeah. I'll probably be getting home tomorrow, probably early evening. So
Yeah.
by the time I get home and get settled and everything, I'll watch it then.
I mean, to be honest,
yeah,
like ever since this whole Tony Khan, CM Punk, and all the blunders that's been happening, not to mention World's End, I still ain't forgot that pay-per-view, how trash that was. That's one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, I've been high on AEW for so long with so many of their events, so many of their matches. It's been great stuff. But, like, I'm literally not enthused about this dynasty. And that's what a generical name. What a generical logo and icon. Like, it just doesn't feel like they're on all cylinders. Like WWE just they can't make even when they do something wrong, it don't matter. It's like it's successful. And with AEW, they're just so stuck and stupid that it just no excitement for me right now. And I've usually been excited about those events. So we'll see how it goes.
Don't get it twisted. I think match wise it's probably gonna end up being a good pay-per-view. I mean, some of the matches I'm not into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see Will Ospreay and Bryan Daniels. I want to see that.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know,
yeah. Of course.
But where, you know, the build up of it is horrible.
Yeah.
But Tony Khan don't give a damn about building up in it. He don't care. He playing with toys at the end of the day. He don't give a damn.
I'm still watching that CM Punk interview because I've been watching it in pieces and doses. So far, I feel like CM Punk is, you know, he's saying some stuff that feels credible, that feels like, you know, he's just being real about what it is. And it is damning for Tony Khan. It makes him look like an idiot because he's not really saying it like to be malicious. He's just saying, yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. He's a nice guy that really don't have any discipline, and you know, he's not really enforcing things, and he's showing his shortcomings as far as running a promotion. And the fact that he would be focused on only match quality and getting a 5-star rating from a guy over actually having a business that is viable through ticket sales and other means of success, that's not the order of the day. So if you got a rich daddy that can finance your dream, that seems to be what this is. Like, I don't care about the wins and losses here. I just care about the fact that my dream to have a promotion is there. And when you see it like that, you're like, okay, this could be what was causing the downfall here.
Yeah, like I said about the CM Punk interview, I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
That don't take away from CM Punk stringing it along.
Oh, of course,
Because because he was making the money. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
So, that's what I told Trev. I'm like, I agree with everything that CM Punk said. What he's not going to tell you is that he was with it up until the point when the bullshit happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
that to me, that cancels out everything he said.
Oh, of course. He's being opportunistic at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some people don't see it that way, but I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
But
totally agree with that.
But yeah, I'll be watching it tomorrow. I don't think I got nothing to do tomorrow, so I'll be watching it. I'll probably be in the group chat, and we'll talk about it this Wednesday. I
Yeah.
see Trev. He switched it up from the Sting thing to now we gonna review Dynasty. It's gonna be an interesting show. Like I said, after I saw John Moxley with the IWGP title, I disconnected from AEW altogether. I'm like, nah, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. All
The
the
legacy.
prestige of the it's gone. It's gone.
I mean,
I can't take it serious, man. I just can't. I'm
if
sorry.
you were told in the past, like, who's going to be the first guy in the history of wrestling to win the WWE, AEW, and IWGP championship, who that guy would be? Do we think Moxley would have came up?
It wouldn't have came across my mind.
That's
whatsoever.
crazy. I feel like, like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, like they've hit some highs above highs. And because of the association with the Shield, I feel like there's an effort to make Moxley at least try to be on par with their highs. So they put him in these scenarios to kind of justify him. It feels like there's an effort to keep him at a certain profile to stay at wavelength with Roman and Seth. Because he's supposedly, judging by Roman Reigns, Seth, and him, he would be the weak link. He would be the one that's lacking the most. So he's outside of WWE, and those entities that are dealing with him, IWGP and AEW, and any other, maybe Ring of Honor, it just seems like they're like, okay, we got Moxley. He's a former WWE guy associated with the Shield. He's got to win this or he's got to do that, like to keep his profile up, to keep his stock high. That's what it feels like to me.
That's ridiculous. I mean, even when he won the WWE Championship, in that sense, I really wasn't mad at it because I understood it, like as far as like storyline.
Mm-hmm.
We know when it comes to the IWGP title, that's all about wins and losses. That's all about like bolstering, being like the best in New Japan, like literally the best.
Mm-hmm.
John Moxley in no way, shape, or form is the best in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
He just ain't. So again, man, it don't make sense to me. It goes to show you that a lot of these companies, man, they they do so much to try to position themselves. I think New Japan is in between a rock and a hard place right now.
Right.
Because they trying to have this connection with the American fans through AEW, but the American style of wrestling don't fit what they want it to be. Tony Khan think it is, but it's not. That's why we're not seeing the numbers. That's why, like Trev showed the other day in the group chat, that's why they only sold less than 1,000 for their next. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do they advertise? Do like the local market like know that they're gonna be there? Or it don't seem like there's any effort put in.
I've been to AEW twice now. I've never seen a commercial. And like I said, it ain't like I'm home all the time. If it wasn't for me being like in the email list when it comes to like Ticketmaster and StubHub and all that, I wouldn't know.
Right. So as a fan, you got to actively research and do things to make yourself be there. It's not something that just
Right.
come. Oh, they happen to be here this weekend. Hey, let's go. You know, it's not like that.
Right. Yeah, it's not. That where inversely with WWE, like since even in Atlanta, like in the Atlanta area, they've been advertising NXT Battleground and Raw in Savannah. You know what I mean? A couple 100 miles away.
Right.
So again, I don't know inevitably what's gonna happen to AEW a couple of years from now. I don't see how they could hell with breaking even. I don't see how they could survive like doing what they're doing right now, paying the money that they're paying to these wrestlers. I don't see how I survive.
Wow.
I just don't.
That's sad, man, because it was supposed to be an alternative and it was supposed to be a legitimate second option, and it's not legitimate. It's more like, CM Punk, what he's saying now, like, funding his dreams, his daddy funding his dreams, and there's no emphasis on ticket sales and attendance, and it really does seem like it's just a show for Tony Khan.
Right.
That's
Do
what
you
it
know
is.
do you know what the full card is? Let me look at the card.
No, I'm not sure what everything is on there. I just hope it's not one of those 13 matches, because that's gonna bring midnight.
Yeah, let me see what the card is, man. Because I don't even know the full card. Joe versus Swerve for the title. Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa for the women's title. That might be a good match.
Yeah,
Kyle
Thunder
O'Reilly versus
Rosa.
Roderick Strong. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong International Championship. Okada versus Pac for the Continental Championship. House of Black versus Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie. What the hell? House of Black versus why they got Eddie Kingston on here twice? I think that's Edge in that match. It's House of Black versus. I could be wrong, but I think it's Edge, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston
So
in
Edge is
that
not
match.
Edge not defending his title at this event.
No.
Ugh.
Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale for the TBS title. Young Bucks versus FDR for the tag championships. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. And Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaim for both the ROH and the AEW 6-man tag championship.
Is
And that's
that
the
like
card.
that's a unification match?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Probably not. I mean, I would assume because ROH is still its own thing. So
Yeah. So
which is stupid. Why are you putting ROH championships on AEW talent? Why are you doing that?
Yeah. They should take down Rampage and put ROA on that.
That should be ROH, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
What
that's the
I was
full
gonna
card.
say with Swerve and Samoa Joe, I mean, there's no way Samoa Joe's gonna lose right now. So
I don't think
Swerve's
so.
gonna lose this match. I mean, if anything, it might be a disqualification or some count out or some nonsense. That's not ideal.
So this will be his second straight championship match in which he'll lose.
Yeah. Why are we putting him in a situation? I would have rather him do something else. Like, I don't know. Like maybe Swerve should have gotten the title shot at the London show, All In is what it is.
Yeah,
They,
All In.
yeah, they should have maybe put him in a big stage like that and made it a big storyline, never having an AEW black champion. Kind of like that Ron Simmons run. I don't know, but yeah, just like this.
To me, yeah, I want to see him win, But the story behind it has been trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The story behind it, he's trying to play face, and it's not working. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm intrigued for a couple of the matches, but other than that, when it come to AEW, man, I'm disconnected.
Yeah.
Like I ain't been trying to follow it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
sucks.
yeah, but all right, fellas, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, get ready to go to sleep for so I can ride out tomorrow, man. I appreciate y'all coming through.
All right.
Coming up,
man.
Monday, I'm bringing back God and Government. I didn't do it this week. We're gonna do it next week. Talking about separation of church and state. That'll be Monday 8:30. Let me see. Yeah, Monday at 8:30. God and Government, church and state. Why didn't it come up? Okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, separation of church and state. Then Tuesday, as always, 6:30 over at Straight Talk Society, TFP, Take Fist Politics. When this coming up Wednesday, we're doing Wrestling with Reality, the Dynasty Review. And then that same night, I'll be on Solomon's channel. We having a discussion, should black people vote? So catch me over there
Black
at
people.
SBDL. Hey, he came up with it. I didn't, so it ain't gonna be a formal debate.
Right.
It'll just be like a discussion type debate. So that'll be over there. Go check out Solar Vision Debate League channel. Then as always, next Thursday, MD Thoughtbox Live. And
All right.
that's the lineup for next week.
All right then,
All
MD.
right, fellas,
So
man, I
we
appreciate
gone.
We gone.
We gone.
Hey, peace, y'all.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing, bitches banging, 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 banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, 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 bitch, nigga, bang, 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 bang.
Red alert. All hands stand to battle stations.
Warning. Warning. Nigga babble detected. System overload. Warning. Warning. Nigga babble detected. System overload.
Peace, y'all. I just had to play it. It's funny. Peace.